Entourage, what's up? So, today we're gonna go over auction strategy. I did my first one this weekend, absolutely crushed it, absolutely love it, can't wait to do more of those, and I'm gonna show you what I learned. But before I do, guys, make sure you leave a comment, like, subscribe, and get the draft kit. The draft kit, guys, it's only 30 bucks. It includes tiered rankings, top 300 players, dynasty formats, all formats, sleepers, busts. Not only that, but I give you my target players and when to target them. Not only that, but this week I'm including a bonus. So I'm not only going to take care of you guys and give you the rankings for your draft, but I'm going to give you my start sit rankings for the entire week or the entire year. I mean, even if it was a week, that'd be good. But this is for the entire year, guys. Okay? And that's going to be absolutely free. Not only that, but exclusive articles regarding free agents, waiver pickups, those hidden gems, so you're always one step ahead of the game. That's all for $30. Make sure you hit me up, guys, at Fantasy Football Rapper on Instagram, at IamFFRapper on Twitter. Well, guys, let's get into it. Okay, so here's what I learned from the auction strategy, and here's some tips. I compiled 10 tips to kind of simplify things for you. And what I realized when it comes to auction, guys, it's actually easier. Not only is it easier than a regular draft or snake draft, but it's a lot more fun. And guys, it's not all that different. It's not all that different. So I take the same approach. Always go running back heavy, always go running back early, or not necessarily early with the auction, but spend the majority, I would say anywhere from half to even as much as maybe like 3/4, 3/5 of your salary on like your top 2 or 3 running backs. Because what I noticed is later on in the draft, you could get a bunch of good players for like $1 because everybody's like anti-rookie, just like they are in real drafts. So go for running backs early. I'll give you an example. What I did, here's a good strategy too, guys. What I did was, because I break all my players down into tiers, I basically got the least expensive out of my tier, which was, you guessed it, Nick Chubb. I got him for $50, while CMC and Barkley were going close to $100. So while I do like CMC and Barkley more than Chubb, obviously, like most, I don't think they're double what Chubb is. And with that, I was able to spend some money. Now, I did spend a little more than I probably would have done had I done this over again on Chris Godwin. I spent $43 on him because he could be elite. And compared to Michael Thomas, because I think he's up there with them, and Devontae Adams, who went 65 and 70, 43 is not bad. However, if you compare it to what A.J. Brown went for 20 or DJ Moore for 24, I also don't think Chris Godwin is double their talent either. So it was one of those picks that I had mixed feelings. And then DJ Shark, I got him for 25. So I would have probably liked to get 2 receivers for the price that I got Godwin. But I'm not complaining, because here's the rest of my lineup. I got J.K. Dobbins for $5. And that's another trick, guys. You can, if you go for rookies, and if you are patient, spend early, but then pull back. I noticed that was a strategy that worked for me because a lot of people blew their load super early. And, you know, I spent some money early, but then I kept, every time I got nominated, which is another trick, guys, or every time I nominated a player, I made sure early on especially that it was a player that I didn't particularly want. So guys like Mike Evans that I'm kind of fading, Amari Cooper, David Johnson. And here's another trick, guys. I read the board. So I looked at what teams had what kind of money and what they were missing. So when I put David Johnson, I put his name up because I saw this guy still had all his budget. And I was like, this guy needs to spend some money. And then I saw another guy had like, he had a couple of players but no running backs. I was like, there's no way this guy's not going to want to get David Johnson, so I nominated David Johnson. A couple of times, I also drove up the price. That's another kind of hack technique, whatever you want to call it. But here's the thing with that. When I was driving up the price, make sure that you do that on a player you wouldn't mind keeping on your team. So I remember somebody else telling me, they were like, yeah, I got stuck with David Johnson because I kept bidding up the price, and then, I got stuck with him. So you don't want to do that. The players that I bid up the price for were Cam Akers, 25. Now I regret not spending more, because here's another thing. There's a fine line between just spending all your money quickly and being left with nothing, and then being ultra conservative. So I was feeling people out. I ended up leaving the draft, I believe, with either $18 or $28 left to spend. So I do wish I would have put in a higher bid for guys like Cam Akers, but at least I drove it up enough so the guy ended up spending $25 on Akers. I got Dobbins for $5. So again, situation. I don't think Akers is 5 times better than Dobbins. Another player was Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, I like him a lot. I couldn't just let him go for like $5 or $10. So I kept getting in a bidding war, and I drove him up, past the $20 range too. And in comparison, I got Josh Allen for $11. Now, I take the same approach with the design of a regular league, right? So I wait on quarterbacks, I wait on tight ends. You could get a quarterback like Sam Darnold, I got as my backup for $2. Joe Burrow was going for like $3. Teddy Bridgewater, I believe, was like $1. Same thing with tight end. I got Gesicki for $6. Higbee was going $9. So you don't really need to spend, $30, $40 on Mark Andrews or more on George Kittle, Travis Kelce. So save on the quarterback, save on the tight ends. Most of your budget should just go for your top 5 to 6 players. Should be like 3 running backs, 2 to 3 receivers. Okay, so that's what I did. I spent 43 on Godwin, 25 on Sharp, spent 50 on Chubb. Now, Dobbins ended up being my RB2 because I was kind of saving. I didn't know how the draft was going to plan out. I didn't know I was going to be able to get Henry Ruggs for $1. Jalen Reagor went for $1. A lot of these players that I liked a lot. Slayton was pretty cheap, even though I didn't get him. So you could wait on, your wide receiver 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And there's going to be a lot of players or a lot of owners bidding on players that I don't even want, which is super, super cool. So the design, it doesn't really change that much. One thing I will say, I got caught slipping because things are moving so fast. It's an auction, and I got auto nominated a player, and I ended up with Curtis Samuel. So make sure you are paying attention. Another time, I was so used to nominating players I didn't want that I was like, okay, next player up is Nyheim Hines. I'm gonna nominate him, not thinking that if somebody doesn't bid on him, I'm stuck with him. So I ended up being stuck with Nyheim Hines, which I wasn't too happy about, which ended up affecting me getting a defense, which I had plenty of money for, and now I got the Miami Dolphins. Okay, so, and that was because I used my roster spots, this was Yahoo, to select some other players instead of selecting a kicker and the defense, which I always recommend anyway in regular leagues as well. And then I picked up Miami Dolphins as a free agent, if you're wondering how that went down. So yeah, the design is exactly the same. So I would say spend a good amount of your budget. I would say spend what I mentioned earlier, half to maybe 3/4 of your budget on your first 5 to 6 players. And then, with that last fourth, you'll have plenty to get your dollar quarterback, your tight end under $10, and fill out the rest of your rosters with these couple dollar type of players. I got Zach Moss, I think, for like $8 or $9. I got Damian Harris for the same, because you always want to build that running back depth. That doesn't change. That's why I say when I talk to you guys about the talent over everything method, it's really good for any type of scoring, any type of league. It's foolproof. I have one way of playing that's been trial and tested for 20 plus years. And I proved it once again, even in an auction, even when there's 20 teams. I ended up getting Jerry Jeudy as my wide receiver 3, somebody that's going to have a very, very high floor due to the way Pat Shurmur uses his receivers in his offense, and him probably being more of a possession guy than Courtland Sutton. Absolutely love that pick. So imagine Jerry Jeudy as your wide receiver 3 in a 20-team league. Got him for like $8 or $9. You just gotta know how to spend and how to play and how to read the board and see who might go where based on their budget and based on their roster. Always be on the lookout for that. So just to recap, spend a lot on your running backs early. Make sure you get 1 to 2 studs, even though, J.K. Dobbins probably is not considered that top tier. I'm perfectly fine with that when you add him up with Damian Harris, with Zach Moss. Oh, Antonio Gibson's another guy I got. And then I got 2 frontline starters, 2 wide receiver ones. In my opinion, Shark has top 5 upside. I think he will be in the top 10 this year to go with Chris Godwin. I got the Josh Allen because I didn't spend money too much on the quarterback, but I believe he could be elite. Gesicki for under $10. And this is pretty much, standard throughout leagues. You can definitely get a really, really good tight end for under $10. Same thing with quarterback. Same thing with the wide receiver 3, a flex, and then the rest of your lineup. Well, guys, like always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Don't forget about the draft kit, $30 up to the draft, or up to this weekend, I should say, that it will include the free premium content. Until next time, guys, peace. We out of here.